In Kerala, on a Wednesday morning, Enforcement Directorate vehicles arrived at 12 locations simultaneously: the house of a former chief minister, his daughter's residence, his son-in-law's home, the office of a chemicals company whose financial records had been under scrutiny for 7 years. Before the officers could finish setting up, CPIM workers arrived. They sat down in front of the vehicles, blocked the road. One windshield was smashed. Think about what you just saw. India's last surviving communist political ecosystem, a party that has built its entire identity on constitutional discipline, institutional respect, cadre order, physically confronting investigative agencies in the street. That image alone tells you this story is not really about a 1.70 crore transaction. But here is the moment that tells you even more. When Pinarayi Vijayan finally spoke, he did not spend most of his words on Narendra Modi. He did not lead with BJP. He said, these raids would give satisfaction to Rahul Gandhi. A former chief minister raided by central agencies, and his first political instinct is to name someone in the opposition. That is where this story actually begins. The case itself starts in 2019. Income tax officers raided the factories and offices of Cochin Minerals and Rutile Limited, CMRL, a Kerala-based chemicals company. What they found was a 7-year pattern of inflated expenses: transportation costs, sludge handling charges, bogus entries totaling roughly 134 crore rupees. The company's own managing director, before IT authorities, admitted the cash generated from these inflated books had been used for illegal payments to politicians, to parties, to media houses, to public servants. The company was facing environmental challenges, threats of closure, and it paid its way through. Among those payments, 1.72 crore rupees to Exalogic Solutions, an IT firm, belonging to Veena Vijayan, daughter of the then Chief Minister of Kerala, for software services, the company said. Services the Enforcement Directorate alleges were never rendered. CMRL tried to close this chapter. They went to the Income Tax Settlement Commission, admitted inflated expenses, settled. Then filed a petition in the Kerala High Court to kill the ED probe entirely, arguing no FIR existed, that IT Act immunity should apply, that PMLA proceedings had no legal basis. For months, that petition held. On May 26th, the Kerala High Court dismissed it. Justice T.R. Ravi held, no FIR is required for a money laundering probe. Income tax settlement grants no immunity from PMLA. The SFIO had already filed its complaint. Every legal door CMRL had used to hold the ED back closed in a single judgment. The next morning, 12 locations simultaneously. Now, the CPM's response was entirely predictable. And predictable does not mean wrong. M.A. Baby called it a targeted attack on an opposition leader. John Brittis called it political vendetta. M.B. Rajesh pointed to Kejriwal. ED, less than 1% conviction rate, used to break opposition leaders one by one. This language is familiar, because it is the same language Congress uses when the ED comes for Rahul Gandhi. The same language AAP used when Kejriwal was arrested. TMC when Abhishek Banerjee was summoned. Hemant Soren before his arrest in Jharkhand. Every opposition party in India now speaks in exactly the same register when central agencies arrive. Vendetta, federalism under attack, democracy at risk, institutional capture. The ideological differences between these parties, and they are real, collapse completely the moment the ED vehicle parks outside. They all reach for the same script, which raises a question the script itself cannot answer. Is the universality of this language evidence that the machine actually is weaponized? That every opposition party eventually faces the same treatment, which is why they all sound the same? Or has institutional victimhood become the only grammar available to opposition politics, regardless of what actually happened in any specific case? Both things can be true simultaneously, and that ambiguity is itself a structural problem. Because when the language of democratic distress is universal, it loses its force precisely when it might be most needed. But here is what makes Kerala different from every previous iteration of this script. CPM is not just directing it at BJP. M.V. Govindan pointed to Chief Minister V.D. Satheesan's recent meeting with the Prime Minister in Delhi and asked how else the timing could be read. V.N. Vasavan coined a phrase, ED, VD and Modi together. John Ritter said Congress actively encouraged the ED. That Rahul Gandhi had come to Kerala before the elections and publicly demanded to know why Pinarayi had not yet been arrested. The victimhood grammar turned inward, deployed against an ally. That is the real story. To understand why, you need to look at how Congress relates to every major regional partner it has. Take Tamil Nadu. DMK and Congress are India Bloc partners. Nationally, reliable, ideologically aligned, mutually useful. But inside Tamil Nadu, Congress contests assembly seats independently. Takes somewhere between 6 and 8% of the vote. Votes that would otherwise consolidate behind DMK. DMK needs Congress in the alliance specifically to stop that dilution. Congress inside Tamil Nadu does not need DMK to survive. DMK wins with or without Congress at the state level. So Congress holds structural leverage. It can threaten to go alone, extract national concessions, Lok Sabha seats, portfolio weight, visibility. This is not partnership. It is a protection arrangement wearing the face of an alliance. DMK pays to keep Congress close because the alternative, Congress as a free agent inside Tamil Nadu, costs DMK more than the price of accommodation. Now look at Kerala. CPM and Congress have been the two poles of Kerala politics for 50 years. They do not share power. They take turns defeating each other. The new Congress government, under V.D. Satheesan, just won that election. CPM, for the first time in 50 years, governs no Indian state. A weakened CPM in Kerala is not a problem for Congress in Kerala. It is an opportunity. Every point of erosion in CPM's voter base is a point Congress can potentially absorb. Not immediately, not in one cycle, but directionally, a weaker CPM means a Congress that eventually does not need to share Kerala with anyone. This does not require Congress to have orchestrated the ED raid. It does not require conspiracy. It only requires indifference. The structural incentive to not fight hard for CPM's protection already exists. It was there before the ED showed up. There is a precedent for where this ends. West Bengal. Through the 1980s and 90s, Congress competed with the left front in Bengal. Not hard enough to win, but consistently enough to chip away. To erode CPM's base without replacing it with anything Congress could hold. CPM weakened. TMC rose. Not because Congress built it, but because Congress's competition created the space. Then TMC consolidated. Congress became irrelevant in Bengal. Then BJP entered the anti-TMC vacuum, built ground infrastructure through a decade of patient organization. Lost elections, kept building. Lost again, kept building. In 2026, BJP won Bengal. For the first time in the history of independent India, a BJP chief minister sits in Writers' Building. Let that land for a moment. Congress competed with CPM in Bengal across 2 decades, got nothing. CPM collapsed. Congress remained irrelevant. And the space that Congress's competition helped hollow out, BJP filled completely. Congress did not inherit Bengal. It helped create the conditions in which Bengal became ungovernable for everyone except BJP. Kerala is not Bengal. The political culture is different. CPM's organizational depth is real. The timeline is longer. But the direction of the logic is identical. And Bengal just showed us where that direction ends. There is a reason Congress plays this game. It is not irrational. The nightmare that haunts Congress strategy is not BJP. It is 1989. VP Singh, Chandrasekhar, Deve Gowda, IK Gujral. A decade when regional partners and breakaway factions became powerful enough to form governments without Congress. When the party that had governed India for 40 years found itself watching from the outside while a rotating cast of smaller players held the center together. Congress learned something from that decade. It will not allow strong, autonomous regional partners. Not ever. Strong regional partners are electoral competitors in states Congress wants to eventually inherit. And powerful enough regional partners at the national level can hold Congress hostage rather than the other way around. So the logic of the alliance becomes: keep partners close enough to be useful nationally, keep them weak enough to never be replaceable. The India Bloc, viewed through this lens, is not an alliance built to defeat power. It is a holding pattern, a temporary non-aggression pact between parties that are actively undermining each other in every state except Parliament. There is no common minimum program, no shared governing vision, no institutional architecture that could survive a real test, because there cannot be. Every member of the bloc has a direct electoral conflict with every other member in at least one state. Congress and CPM in Kerala, Congress and TMC in Bengal, Congress and AAP in Delhi and Punjab, Congress and SP in Uttar Pradesh, Congress and NCP and Shiv Sena factions across Maharashtra. The alliance is a map of conflicts with a thin layer of national cooperation painted over it. And Congress, the only truly national party in that coalition, benefits from maintaining that thinness. Because a thick, institutionalized alliance with real power sharing, real common program, real accountability between members would constrain Congress as much as anyone else. The last thing Congress wants is an opposition coalition it cannot dominate. So what is Congress actually building? A strategy to be the last party standing. Outlast everyone. Let the regional parties peak and plateau. Absorb their voter bases as they weaken. Remain the only national alternative when the dust finally settles. It is a coherent strategy. It has historical logic behind it. It is also a strategy that, if it works, leaves you standing in rubble. Because the parties Congress is outlasting are not disappearing into a vacuum. They are weakening into a space that BJP has demonstrated. In Bengal, in Odisha, in Tripura, in the Northeast. It knows exactly how to fill. Congress absorbs CPM voters slowly over cycles. BJP absorbs anti-establishment energy quickly through organization. Congress plays the long inheritance game. BJP builds institutions that survive electoral losses. By the time Congress inherits the ruins of its regional allies, the ruins are already occupied. Bengal just proved it. The question Kerala leaves you with is not whether Pinarayi Vijayan is corrupt. It is not even whether Congress helped the ED find its timing. The question is this: can a national opposition that is structurally incentivized to weaken its own allies, that benefits from their damage, that learned from 1989 never to allow autonomous regional strength, ever build something durable enough to actually challenge power? Or is the India Bloc simply a waiting room, where every party sits politely, watching the others get called in one by one, telling themselves it is BJP doing the calling, not asking who left the door open? The last party standing. Turns out that is only a victory if what you're left standing in is still a country you can govern. You were watching Fault Lines. I'm Abhijit.